The KTM boys, guys. Man, listen, I thought it was like a three-headed dragon moving at one point. What are your thoughts on what they were doing? I mean, Bender is shining a little bit. I mean, I think we still got some more rounds for him to say, okay, he kind of saved his season. But what are your thoughts on what Bastianini, Acosta, and Bender, until he crashed out, was able to do? TJ.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the sprint, Bender actually in the past, like he loves sprints also. So it was good to see him, not do terrible as he's been kind of doing this year. But for watching the KTM's, like, all three of them together in the sprint, it was actually a good sight to see that, the way they were rolling and gelling with each other. And you see they had, like, obviously the same package where they were just the same competition, but it was good to see them, like, running. I think they were
Fourth, fifth,
they were obviously top 10, but fourth, fifth, and sixth. So that was pretty good to see. Yeah. So what I was looking at is like, all right, out of all these three, what KTM rider is trying to prove himself the most? Like, who wants to be up front and take the charge? So I see Pedro Acosta trying to take the jump, and then out of nowhere, Nea Bastianini had such a good fight, which in results he had a good weekend. So that was really good for the KTM guys, seeing the whole paddock smiling and everything. So that was a good sight.
Reese, I mean, what are your thoughts on how KTM did, and also Bastianini? I mean, as TJ said, Acosta, wants to be the main guy, but Bastianini is looking real nice. Like, he's going to be the main guy for the rest of the season.
I mean, yeah, it was nice to see them all up there finally. I mean, I don't know if they were all trying to prove something for the new CEO of KTM out there. I don't know what they were doing, but whatever it did, it actually worked. So, I mean, Bastianini's coming along.
Coming?
Like, the checks are actually coming now. Like, oh, man, we got checks now. Let's ride. I don't know. They got some money now. Like, we can ride now. Like, hey, if you want me to ride, show me the money first. But I don't know. I mean, Bastianini's, like I said, he's coming along. I think he doesn't want. I think he wants to be that top guy over Acosta, and Acosta was leading. I mean, but Bastianini showing his potential on that KTM and actually finally stepping his game up, and not somewhere in the, like I said, back marker or somewhere you can't find him, and like where are you at? And Brad Bender, he's, like TJ said, he likes the sprint races. He does very well on sprint. When it comes to the GP race, he falls off, is flat on his ass sometimes. But I mean, he was right there.
He rides a little wild. He rides a little wild. That
I mean,
it's like roller skates out there for him on that bike, bro.
Just gotta call it where you see it, man. I mean, he's always somewhere on the ground or blown up, or I don't know. I mean, Acosta, he gets a good jump and he just kind of fades back maybe one or two spots and then kind of settle in there.
Right.
But it was nice to see.
Yeah, it was nice. You saw how, talk about sliding Bender and Bastianini when they were all together. Those two were just sliding the rear like crazy.
Right. And you seen it. They were backing it in every corner they were trying to get in there. And I was like, nice. And just had to watch.
Yeah. It was very, the Tech 3 new guy, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Lewis, what are your thoughts on KTM? And also, let's talk about Tech 3 and the new owner, what's his name, from NASCAR, but also Formula One, because it seems like he'd rather say he owns a NASCAR team than was in Formula One every time he was in front of a mic in MotoGP. What are your thoughts on what KTM did?
I was impressed with KTM. Again, this is a track that I think really did benefit them, at least played into a little bit more of their strengths. But I think all the riders that are doing well in KTM right now all need to send a big thank you to Maverick Vinales, because he's the one that kind of showed them the way with this new package this year. He was the first one to really start being successful on a regular. Mm-hmm. And once he became successful on a regular, all of a sudden that started to propagate to everybody else. Everybody else started getting a little better, a little faster, a little bit more confident. I think the biggest bonehead mistake of the weekend was Acosta going with the soft rear tire.
Yeah.
I don't know what he thought he was going to do. That track is brutal on tires. You spend a lot of time on the side of your tire. And you saw that, halfway through the race, he started dropping. He's coming out of the corners. He's spinning the tire. I mean, if he had gone with the same compound that the rest of the KTM riders went with, he probably would have been battling with Bastianini right to the end for that third spot. I mean, he's lucky he even got away with where he got away, because had the race been a couple more laps, realistically, he might have finished 7th, because the 4 or 5 guys behind him were catching him fast. He was only 1 second, less than a second ahead of Quartararo. He was about a second and a half in front of Agura, and I mean, he was still 3 seconds faster than Bagnaia, so we won't talk about that. But whatever.
Who is it faster than Bagnaia right about now?
Right.
But I think the next round is also going to be a good round for the KTM package. They're going to Italy, and that track is going to be really good for them. That track is going to be good for them. It's not going to be great for Yamaha. I think Quartararo will do his best in that back side of the track, where you can kind of get some speed and go through some fast corners. But I think the KTMs will be back up there next week. I don't know where the Aprilias are going to be, because we got an injury issue now, possibly, thanks to somebody taking somebody out. I ain't gonna say no names.
Morbidelli.
Jeez.
Good old Frankie's.
He got away with one though.
Good old Frankie.
No, that second one was he didn't get away with that second one. That was clean, the second one, but that first one, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see this next track, but I think KTM is probably going to be good the next 3 or 4 tracks. And then we'll see if they can keep carrying that momentum. And everybody on KTMs is safe right now. They all have contracts for 26 already signed. Mm-hmm. So they just got to ride. And then next year, we'll see how things sort. I mean, if things keep going the way they're going, the main person I see at any risk of losing their job next year is Binder. I think when Vinales gets healthy again, he's going to be right up at the front again. And Binder, with as many years he's been on the KTM, he's the one guy that is not shining. And you can't be on a bike, on a factory bike that long and have you guys coming and outshining you. So next year, the heat is going to be definitely turned up on Binder. Unless he's got some compromising photos of the right people, then he's going to keep his job.
How many rounds is Vinales actually going to be up top, though? Yeah.
If Vinales is healthy, honestly, he can be good, but again, man, he's got to be on the perfect bike. And it seemed like he helped them get the bike pretty sorted, because before he started getting on his streak, I mean, the KTM boys looked like they didn't have a roadmap on how to get around the track. And now all of a sudden, whatever they did or whatever he developed or whatever he did as far as changing the package, now all of a sudden the KTMs are looking great. And they got great riders. Bastianini and Acosta aren't slouches. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes for them. I think it's positive, and I think that new ownership. I can't remember the dude's name.
Gunter, is it?
Gunter Steiner.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. Again, it's always good to have an infusion of money, man. You can't go racing without money. So if you can get an infusion of money and you can get an infusion of new ideas, let's see what he brings over from NASCAR, what he brings over from Formula One. Let's see what the shakeup is going to be, because like he said in the interview, from now until the end of the year is going to be status quo. Mm-hmm. But, when the end of the year comes, let's see what happens, what changes he's going to make. How's the team going to look? Are they going to stay with Red Bull? Because technically Tech 3 doesn't have to stay with Red Bull. I'm sure Red Bull is giving them some good coin. But let's say he wants to rebrand the team under his brand and do all these other things and bring in new sponsors. It's going to be real interesting for Tech 3. I hope Tech 3 gets a huge infusion of money. I hope they get away from the Red Bull logo. Like, we don't need four dudes on bikes that look exactly the same, even though they're not. Like, bring in some new sponsors.
Right.
Let's go Formula One style. Let's have, 15 different sponsors sponsoring bikes out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to seeing what happens. I mean, I think for Harvey Montreal, it's tough letting go your baby, and he's had that baby for a minute.
But I think he's maxed out what he could do with it. I mean, he's had a lot of success. If you think about all the people that have gone through Tech 3, think about all the riders they have back when they were with Yamaha.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a launching pad for a lot of great Yamaha riders. That was a launching pad for a lot of great riders in general.
Yeah. For sure.
So it just comes, sometimes it just comes that day that you just got to let go.
We got to let go. That's the downside. It's father time.
Sign that check over.
That's it. But let's move on to Aprilia because you touched on it a little bit. We'll talk. We'll start with TJ on that. Aprilia, what they did, it looked. Bezzecchi looked like he would have been the front runner for the Aprilia brand until he got jacked up. And even though he did crash out in the main race.
No, he only made it one lap.
Did he crash out in both races?
Did he crash in the second race?
Taken.
No, I thought
he got taken out.
Right?
He got taken out, and then I think he crashed the second race too.
Okay, yeah.
Aprilia had a horrible weekend.
Yeah.
This is the one of the weekend they need to forget.
Yeah.
He completed one lap.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, TJ, on Aprilia, Martin, the Trackhouse boys? Because Agura is looking really good again after hopefully just healing up better because he's starting to show pace again and getting out in front of Fernandez. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
TJ?
Agura probably looked the best out of all their Aprilia riders this weekend. I mean, with Martin getting taken out. By Bezzecchi, by Morbidelli and the sprint.
Was it Morbidelli? Who did Furman take out?
Yeah.
So Morbidelli took out Martin, and who took out and Furman took out Bezzecchi?
Yeah, Furman took out Bezzecchi, and that's the correct. Yeah.
Ducati, huh? Italians on Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was just when you try to have a good qualifying and you go, it's raw racing, but the luck Bezzecchi been having, he's been on a good high, but just to have someone take you out, it just sucks, because I wish they just braked a little early or something like that. But just to have the Martin and Bezzecchi go out and basically a wash weekend for the sprint and the GP. It's hard to think about because you're like, you got nothing out of it. You tried so hard to get where you are in the beginning and all the practicing and stuff like that to get ahead of everybody. So, hopefully, luckily it's a quick turnaround and they can just forget it and hopefully just look like KTM and get all their Aprilias back going on the right stepping stone.
Okay, that's what's up. Reese, what are your thoughts on Aprilia? They seem to be more consistent this year. I think, the first few races we can probably say was up and down. They also didn't have Martin, obviously. But Martin finished 13th in the main race. I don't know. And he was taken out in the sprint. But Fernandez and Ayagura, those guys rode really well. What are your thoughts on where Aprilia is and how they're doing this season, where they're at in the season?
I definitely agree with you there. I definitely think they're more consistent this year overall. And unfortunately, both top guys in Aprilia were taken out, with Morbidelli and them, they were all taken out. But Agura, he carried the flag this weekend. For the main race, he actually carried it and he did very well. I think that next year we're going to be a little different once all guys are 100% healthy. Mm-hmm. And they get their time to be on the bike, to develop the bike to where they need to be and get the bike to that with their standards. I think it's going to be a little bit different race. I think they'll be up there always in the top 5. I hope Jorge's come back stronger. It'd be a nice battle. So we'll see what they got next year coming into it. This year I think they just need to salvage as much as they can. Bastianini still is third? Bezzecchi is still third. Bezzecchi. Yeah, Bezzecchi's still third. So long as he can carry the points, and so
right.
He's doing better than Pekka.
Do you think that?
I'll throw that out there.
Yeah. I see it. I see it right there. Do you think that Morbidelli's penalty was enough? I mean, if you look at it as one instance, but if you look at the whole year, at some point, like race direction should do a little bit more because it's like it was one lap, and I think he recovered. He also crashed. Oh, did he crash? Yeah, he ended up crashing out. But he still was doing fairly decent, even after his long lap penalty. Do you think it should have been worse than this one lap?
I think it's going to come down to more than a one lap with him. I mean, if you look, it's like almost like technically a consistency of something going on. Like every round, he's going up to the race direction. He's doing something. And I'm still trying to figure out how the heck did he get another year on his bike? Like Jesus Christ, I'm like, give it up. Like he hasn't really been relevant since COVID years.
Well, the thing is, what other available Italian is there to put on that bike right now?
That is a good point. There is none.
Valentino Rossi is not, in the practice of giving his seats to non-Italians. He's got a VR46 Academy. He helps get Italians through Moto3 and Moto2. He signs a lot of these Italians to his VR46 camp. So what is he going to do? For all these rumors that people have been saying about Acosta going to VR46, I never believed it for once that Rossi was going to put a Spaniard on his bike over an Italian. Like he'll get
I never
an Italian off the street in the middle of Venice and give him a bike before he gives a Spaniard a bike, man.
No, but I thought he was going to at least get somebody from Moto2, one of his new upcoming guys.
Yeah, but none of his upcoming guys look that strong in Moto2. So it's give Frankie another year and see what shakes out. And maybe next year, Pecco
more penalties.
But Pecco gets kicked off the Ducati squad and he can pick him up and put him on his bike, or some other Italian, doesn't re-sign with their team. Because next year, if you think about it, Pecco will be free. Bezzecchi will be free.
Right.
There's a lot of free Italians next year that he can put on the bike. So giving Frankie a 1-year contract just to keep an Italian ass on that seat and keep it warm for another year is not a bad idea, even though Frankie's going to cost him a lot of money in parts and a lot of headaches.
But Frankie's, he's doing fairly well. I mean,
when he's not crashing into people,
despite all of his penalties. He's like, so you think if he didn't have these penalties, how much further he could be in the championship?
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, Frankie kills me. Like, Frankie's my boy. I like Frankie. But Frankie's like that brother that every time the phone rings on a Saturday night, you're like, oh, shit, man. That's me, bro. It's 1 a.m. Why he calling me, man?
What did he do?
Oh shit!
That's Frankie. Like, you my family, my boy. I like you. 1 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Why is the cops calling me?
Open the
door. Hi, this is Sergeant such and such. Are you Luis Ortega? Yeah.
I had nobody else to call. I mean, listen, you're absolutely right. I mean, Rossi looks out for his peoples.
Yeah.
And we saw that, I mean, I think, we're going to move on to Honda anyway, but like he looks out for his people. You see what he did for his brother and all the other riders that he's brought through. And even, I can't remember his name, Migo. Yeah, Mino. Yeah, it's just like these are there's more, and I'm knock to him, but there's more talented riders than him, and he's in Moto E now, but still, he's still on a bike.
Well, I think the reason that they signed Frankie this late in the game is because he really was waiting to see if Honda would sign his brother, and once Honda signed his brother, then he was like, all right, now I got a seat available, let me sign Frankie. Yeah. That's really, I feel that's really what it came down to, because if Honda did not sign his brother, then his brother would be back on a Ducati next year on a VR46 bike.
Gotcha.
That's just the way he works. And I don't blame him, man. If that was my family, and I know his brother has talent. His brother's a talented rider.
We'll talk about that because as we're going to jump into Honda. But yeah, let's talk about how he's been doing. He come back after his injury, and he is a talented rider.
Yeah, no, TJ can kick it off, but I think he's definitely up there.